Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here to record the Daniel Negreanu and Phil Hellmuth Poker High Stakes.
And how great is this
This
lineup?
is for, well, just some background. This is going to be my amateur review. I've only been playing poker for about a year now, but I want to try and review some of these hands to try and get better at the game. So we're going to jump right into it.
2010 World Series of
Also, mind you, I'm going to try and stop hitting the pause button, but it's four-handed, so my understanding, if we're going to play four-handed, you will typically want to play more hands. If I'm correct on that. I'm an amateur, so I'm going to try and learn as I review some of these poker
the
pros.
poker champion, Phil Hellmuth with 13 bracelets. These are two legends of the game, and the guy who's the biggest winner in the history of the internet.
Yeah,
Banging
and
heads.
the best heads-up player agreed by, I think, all humans. I mean, I don't know anyone's. Jungle has said I'll play anyone in the world heads up, and no one really's taking him up on it. You know, four-handed. This should look like.
Okay, so we got looks like it's going to be a call from Phil Hellmuth with King 9 suited,
Pocket aces.
It looks like a
and Danny Negreanu is in the big blind. So we got Phil Hellmuth in the small blind, Daniel in the big blind.
good hand, doesn't it? Looks
8-6 offsuit.
And he's gonna call. He's not gonna
He's
raise.
gonna
It's
call.
almost style to just call this.
Okay, so right off the bat, let's think about what's happening right now. If we're looking at the perspective of Phil, we're going to try and analyze it through Phil's perspective, okay? Daniel Negreanu is in the big blind, and he just called your... And he just... Let's see, hold up. He could call. Oh, wait, no. Let me shut up and get back into this hand.
Have you trapped here? Now I'm starting to wonder.
Hey, that's the move again.
Yes. Pocket aces.
It looks like a good hand, doesn't it?
Sure
Looks like a
does.
hand where he's trapping here.
And he's gonna call. He's not gonna raise. It's almost style to just call this.
Stone cold feel like I have you trapped here. Now I'm starting to wonder.
Hey, that's the move again.
Yes.
That's the
I guess you
move.
had me.
Right.
Okay, so we got Danny Negreanu is going to raise it to 48K and 32K for Hellmuth to call. So what's Hellmuth thinking right now? What is PH thinking? Well, if you're Danny Negreanu and you're raising, I would assume that you'd be raising with any number of hands. However, I think that you would try to look at his range going from ace 10 and up. Ace 10 off, ace queen off, ace jack off, all of those suited. Ace king suited aces, kings, jacks, queens, all of that, all the premium hands. But I also think that he could be raising you pretty light. He could be raising you with whatever he has right here, 8-6 offsuit. Maybe any suited connectors here. Okay, so I guess in Helmut's head, you could eliminate a lot of the other junk hands like Jack 5, Jack 4, Queen 7. Maybe you might even play some Queen 7s or King 8s, King 9s. I mean, you wouldn't play King 9 because you have one right here. So I guess you can kind of eliminate that. But I guess if we're playing through the lens of Phil Hellmuth, we're thinking, okay, he's not going to have any junk. He could be raising me with junk, right? So let's keep going.
It's just one of those weird hands. I was like, I need to trap him.
And Phil Hellmuth's calls.
I check to you, Daniel.
He's going to check in the dark.
All right, I don't blame you. Might as well take a look.
I'm only at 67%.
He's waving like a lunatic. He's
Okay. Okay, so the flop comes ace, ace, king.
Now he's gonna check call or he.
Hellmuth is first to act, so he's got two pair right now. But remember, if Daniel is raising him, he could have any number of cards at his disposal. So we're trying to think, if we're Phil Hellmuth, what is our best option? Does he have an ace? Does he have a king? Because if he doesn't have an ace, then we're most likely winning because we hold one of the kings. And the likelihood that he also has a king is probably pretty low, if I'm understanding poker correctly. Like I said, this is all about discussion. I'm trying to get better at the game. So thinking about it out loud will probably help my thought process moving forward. I think if you're Helmuth here, a check is not bad. If you check it, and Daniel checks back, you have to be worried about if he has an ace or not. But if two of them go on the board, I'm kind of, it feels kind of weird. So we're just gonna keep going.
He did. He got the shutdown. He blocked it. He's checking in the dark.
So he's gonna check. Both check. Turn. This is 9. So Phil's got. Well, the 9 is kind of counterfeited here, right? Because you have ace, you have 2 pair.
King queen still beats him. Check. Now.
Right? If you have ace, king, 9. Yeah, I mean, this 9 is kind of dead. But now you know for a fact that if he doesn't have an ace, you're most likely good unless he has a set of 9s.
Oh, I thought he had a flush draw. No, Negreanu.
Can't help it. I have to bet some.
Okay, so now. Now we got a hand, okay? Phil has 9s full. The only hand he will ever lose to is ace king or any ace. But if you're Phil Hellmuth, right, you have to be thinking, okay, what are the chances that Daniel has an ace? He did raise me before the flop, but Daniel, as a tricky player, he could be raising you light with anything. He's raising you light right here anyways. But we can see the cards here, so it's kind of hard to say. I think he's in a tough decision, but I think it would have been better if he bet on the flop. I mean, yeah, you have the chance to get checked raised. It's kind of difficult. You're in that spot. But now I think it's even worse because now you have the best hand for sure. Or maybe he's just checking. Maybe he's just checking his ace if he has one. But let's see.
He made a full. Oh, the 9 came there. He has like a.
How many bets 20K?
Daniel plays the board, but so do a lot
Jungle
of hands.
has reached out and stolen these kind of pots. Will Daniel reach out and steal it?
Wow.
He knows that he can't have an ace. He wouldn't have done all this checking.
Wow.
And then he
I love this
raises.
play. This is so sick. The gut feel is to.
And he
insta-fold
folds,
this.
faces up. Ooh, okay, so Daniel raises to 140. Phil immediately mucks. It's a tough spot, you know, when you get 9s full, turn it and then river it. I think if it's tough. It's tough. This was a tough hand. All right, let's keep going.
It's bluff or ace. There's only those 2 choices, really. Bluff or maybe ace king. But
And Hellmuth folded instantly with the full house.
140.
that's
with
why you can check.
the full house.
Those pots you can check and call. Wow. Oh, he's tilted.
I had like 16 full houses. 9's full of fakes, full of fakes.
Yeah, I've been real lucky against you so far.
Yeah. Just bad luck is what they say. That's the hashtag Mercier called it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you outplayed me, but I'll tell you one thing. One of these times it's going to come reverse, you know? And when I have one of the hands you've had against me and you have one of the hands against me, we're going to see how it goes.
I hear you, buddy.
Okay, here we go.
Raised to 44.
Under the gun, I don't. It's four-handed. You know, if you haven't been active, be active. And so I like these kind of things.
I like that he says that. It's four-handed. If you haven't been active, be active. I guess to that, you are playing with less players. You can afford to try and mix it up. But I don't understand why, is what I'm asking. Why would you want to play more hands when you have less players? What is the logic behind that? I still don't understand. If you have less players, should you be playing more hands because there are less cards being dealt out? Or, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out.
You're going to win uncontested, you know, the lion's share of the time. But Hellmuth snap calls because he does have the snap call kind of hand.
I'm not going to check in the dark, though.
Yeah.
I might just fire out one time, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's a very good hand for king.
Okay, so Small blind. What do we have here?
Calls because he does.
Daniel raises to 44. If Daniel was just the big blind, he is now the under the gun. Phil Hellmuth is now the big blind. Daniel acted first. He raises. Everyone else folds. It goes to Hellmuth with the king 6 suited. Daniel has queen 5 suited.
Does have
Makes a
snap
call.
kind of hand.
I'm not gonna check in the dark though.
First act is going to
Yeah.
be
Might just fire out one time. You know what I mean?
Phil.
Oh, that's a very good hand for king.
He's going to
For
check
king,
it.
6 of diamonds.
Okay. Now this, I think, if you're Phil, okay, heads up again. We're Daniel. Your hand has lots of equity here, right? Daniel could be raising you with anything. Of course, you got bluffed off the last hand, but think about it. You have the second nut flush if a diamond comes. So wouldn't you at least try and build a pot here? Isn't that maybe like a small C bet? A fourth pot? I don't know. Something to at least pressure him and build a pot. You have equity. You may not know if he has a pair right now or not, but you definitely have outs to win. So the check here I think is kind of weak. Even though you are acting first, I still think you should check it, even though I still think you would go for a small C bet.
Queen 5. See, it hits his range. When you make a bluff with queen 5 or you try and get it.
Okay,
all
so
of a sudden, and now he'll check again.
now
'cause
Daniel gets his pair.
he's picked
Okay.
something up, but
I'm thinking Helmy probably now thinks that this card hasn't changed anything. If anything, I don't know what he's thinking actually. I'm trying to review the hand, but I would like to think that he thought this turn card didn't change anything.
that range 9 through queen is
I think I
dangerous.
better bet big, really big here. I better bet 70,000.
That's a big bet. That is a big bet.
He's trying to
Bet
get like
70.
a random 9-10 or something to fold.
The problem is, if there is a problem, is that Negreanu knows what big bets mean.
It means weak or
I mean,
like
look at
protecting
that.
the,
How
yeah.
much does he know what big bets mean?
Wow, so sick.
That
And
was a
Daniel doesn't go
cold,
anywhere.
Stone
This is-
cold call.
Check.
No.
Check.
And a
Check.
helmet is going.
And then he checks it. You know, he loses the hand because Daniel gets his 5s. I don't know if maybe he barreled on the flop, barrels again on the turn, and then barrels one more time. It's risky, of course. Fishing for the flush draw when you have king high is tough. But I think that maybe he would get him off. It's risky, but I think if I were to do this whole hand over again, and I was playing, I'm an amateur player, very amateur, novice. I think here, if you're Hellmuth, you would at least see bet on the flop. If you miss your draw, you would think the 5 doesn't change anything anyways, and I think you would barrel again. And then depending on whether or not you're sizing for the turn bet, if it's half pot, 3/4 pot, if Negreanu folds, you're fine, obviously. But if he would call your half pot or 3/4 pot bet, you might just elect to check back the river or move for a shove, and then you would be really testing him because you wouldn't have anything and he would have a pair. That's my logic behind it, but you know, I'm just a novice. I'm just trying to figure it out. So let's see what happens.
Going to freak.
King high.
King high.
He's gonna freak.
This coupled with the other
He's
hand.
gonna freak.
70 dimes.
All right, and then he does his little
Out of
thing.
200.
We're gonna do this last
Yeah.
one.
Limp with 8, right? I just want dangerous.
All right, so under the gun was Daniel. So
I don't
it
mind.
looks
I really don't mind.
like
I just want to be a big favorite.
Jungle Man is gonna be
How
might be frustrated, but I'm
Small. No, dealer. Dumo,
Are they getting
small.
it on here?
Jonathan folded 5 rag. Daniel folded queen
Nope,
6.
I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Wanna bet 30.
Jonathan folded 5 rag.
Negreanu is in the big blind. He's got the 7 deuce off. Hellmuth got the Doyle. And he calls.
Daniel folded queen 6.
And Daniel's going to check.
30 in the
Phil calls. Daniel checks.
Wow, this is a
All right.
pretty big
Phil.
hand for,
Phil's going to check. He's open-ended. Daniel has bottom pair.
I mean, to flop a straight
They
draw.
both check it. Ooh, okay. Now you
He
have
has a straight. He doesn't
the
want
straight. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you're Hellmuth here,
flush out there.
I think you bet. And I think his bet is good.
It's
I
so
think it's
crazy.
good.
He's thinking, oh, if I
Two
could
outs.
only be up against the ace of spades here.
I think he's going to call 30.
And Daniel
try and shove
calls.
Is Hellmuth going to
He's got his
bounce
flush
out
draw.
of his seat when the spade hits?
And the spade does hit.
Yep.
Okay.
How did it just...
So now if you're Hellmuth, Daniel bets. If he does bet, because he probably is going to bet here. Let's just watch him.
Check.
Check.
You think he's value betting this?
He's just betting because it's Hellmuth.
And he knows that he's got the best hand.
And he bets.
That he's got the best hand.
Okay, he bets. 50K. It's tough. You're in a
It
tough
looks
spot
like it
here.
could be a higher spade
4 to
for
a
sure.
flush.
Oh. Flush. Straight flush draw. Yeah, I know.
All right. This one is tough. The call, I think you just can't make the call. 4 to a straight? 4 to a flush is... even if you have the straight, which he does, I think you just have to show some respect here. You check. He's out of position. Daniel's going to bet. You just have to show him the respect that he has here. He could be repping anything. It just so happens he has it here. But even if he didn't, the bet itself, I just think you have to fold. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Then again, I just want to repeat that I'm a novice player. I'm just going to try and do some poker hand reviews to see if I can improve my gameplay. Thanks again for watching. If you like the video, please leave a comment. Thanks, bye.